Hey, you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at naughtylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Good morning, Naughty Crew. Welcome back to my channel, Naughty Love Movement. It's your host, Naughty or Nikki, whatever you prefer. Either is fine. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I was late this morning. Took me a little bit longer to get me together. All this glory, gorgeousness. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a wonderful start to their day. First, let's start off with a sound check. Please put a 1 in the chat if my sound is clear or crackling. Just put a 1 in the chat if I'm good. Put a 2 in the chat if I'm not good. Because we had a struggle stream yesterday morning with all the technical issues and things like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining me. All right, so we got a great show lined up for today. Oh my God, I'm in the middle of watching Quiet on the Set, The Ring of Chesters, the inappropriate behaviors. We're going to dive a little bit more into that today. I did a lunchtime rundown about it yesterday, but there's some more stars speaking out and expressing themselves about the situation at Nickelodeon. So we'll dive into that. Also, we're going to get into talk about the hypocrisy in Hollywood and how they coddle predators and abusers and Pedialyte. Dr.Dre got a star on the Walk of Fame. The hypocrisy. I can't. All right. Also, I want to get into some of the NYC crime that's going on. There's a twin in Brooklyn that was attacked. Unfortunately, she rejected this bum, and he felt the need to take her life as a result of it. Like, people are losing their ever-loving minds. All right. And then J-Lo is getting exposed some more. We got some Nene and Portia if we have time. So much to get into, Naughty Crew. All right. So please make sure you're hitting that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, share my content, and interact with the channel by leaving comments. These are all the free ways that you can support the channel. Also, donations are definitely appreciated over here. We do not work for free at the Naughty Love Movement. We stand in our worth. Okay. All right. Also, follow us on our different social media platforms. They're all scrolling below on the banner. I also did my due diligence to put all the links in the top of the chat for you guys for my backup channel. So please subscribe to my backup channel, Naughty Crew Live Podcast. All right. I see we're growing over there. So I appreciate everyone following along and being patient while I get the content together over there. The Cash App link is there. My Naughty Love.movement 2020 to my Instagram is there. So if you want to inquire about head wraps or anything like that, hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. All right. I think that's all I have for housekeeping. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this intro and we will dive right in. Thumbs up this video. Good morning. Good morning to my naughty crew. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Kim. Make sure y'all go over to Kim Delivers and subscribe. Good morning, Grape Tea News. Go over to Grape Tea News and subscribe. Thank you all for joining me. So, up first, since I've been watching, I'm on episode 4 of Quiet on the Set. Let me tell you, the grooming that went on, disgusting. Disgusting. But we have people speaking out. Dan Snyder is speaking out. He sat down for an interview in regards to Quiet on the Set, but a whole bunch of inappropriate behavior. I mean, this was a ring of Chester's. He has to be sick. And can I tell you, 3 Pedialites were arrested out of this Nickelodeon situation. And you know what? I'm glad the parents had enough courage to move forward with pressing charges and things like that. So we want to dive into that a little bit. But the sexualization of young girls on the set, the jokes were borderline corn material, disgusting, sick, sick. I'm like nauseated. All right, it's disgusting. But Dan Snyder is speaking out in regards to the On the Set series. He sat down for an interview and shout out to, I think this is Neighborhood Talks. And this is his way of basically trying to take, I guess, accountability for what went on. Now, Dan Snyder, he was the Nickelodeon hidden jewel. He's responsible for a lot of shows. Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, the Amanda Bynes series. Oh, like so many. He was Nickelodeon's golden goose. All right. But he spoke out and he calls himself trying to explain his behaviors, and he's apologetic all of a sudden, even though it's crazy. Let's get into it. His behavior was outrageous as well.
It was very difficult, me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. I hate that anybody worked for me and didn't have a good time.
Some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children.
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny. Okay. Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. And I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show. It was very difficult, me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then.
Do y'all believe him, Naughty Crew? I mean, is this only the right thing to say right now about what's going on, but you're embarrassed? It was the wrong thing to do? Like, get out of here.
I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that.
About this, they gave me a prosthetic nose, like an enlarged nose. And they put this same.
We saw this yesterday, but this is one of the examples of some of the inappropriate things. As you can see, he has a prosthetic on his nose and then the shoulder pads, and it just looks like a nutsack. Okay. Hold on. I think I have more clips from that interview, and we went over this yesterday with the Diddy. Shout out to the Shade Room for these next clips.
More disappointing. 41 of those people wrote letters.
So he's speaking on the situation with Drake Bell, and he's from the the show Josh and Drake in the SA allegations against
Discuss child
that he
predators.
made.
Now, I want to make sure that we clear a couple of things up.
Okay.
Brian Peck, and this is Brian Peck. He is the one that violated Drake. Let me just give y'all a visual. It's like, what the Harvey Weinstein going on? This is Brian Peck right here. This is James Marston. Wait, no, he wrote letters. But he was convicted. He was tried and convicted, and Hollywood came out to support him, like unknowingly. It's ridiculous. But this is him on the right. This is who they're talking about. Here's another one that was convicted for messing with the kids on the Nickelodeon set. What's his name? He was a production assistant and he assaulted children. What's his name? Alexa Nicholas. Yes. All right. Woo! Mm, mm, mm. But this is who we talking about currently in this next clip. And what he did to this young man is ridiculous. Disgusting. All right. So Dan Snyder is addressing the allegations that Drake made against Brian Peck. Here we go.
Brian Peck was not hired by you.
No, I did not hire Brian Peck.
This was a Tolan Robbins production?
Yeah. And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. Mm. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? Which Drake mentioned in the show that we watched last night. And next.
And he did. Drake said that Dan Snyder was there for him, like, and attentive once he found out. He did give him credit for that. But it's just the situations he was put in to be groomed. Now, and we're going to get into Drake Bell because he spoke out as well. Now, his father was his manager when he first came on the Nickelodeon scene. His father was very hyper vigilant. He was in the actual series speaking up, and he recognized the inappropriate ways that Brian Peck was coming towards his son, and he intervened. Like, he blocked it at all costs. But what started to happen is Brian Peck started to groom Drake and convince him, like, you know, your dad really shouldn't be your manager. It's just inappropriate. He's a tyrant on the set. He's gonna cause you problems with getting jobs in the future, and started convincing him to fire his dad. Why? Because he had his own agenda and he was trying to groom Drake so that he could isolate him, so that he could have what he wanted. But his father was saying he would notice that he would touch on Drake inappropriately, like extra rubbing on the shoulders, and he would intervene and stuff like that. And so, you know, Drake was a matter of a result of a divorced family. And so his parents live separately. And so he went to his mom and started to complain about his dad and said he wanted to fire him. And so the dad said, I'll give him what he wants. But he told the mom, under no circumstances, do not let him be alone with Brian Peck. And she did not listen. She got lazy and she didn't want to drive him back and forth. And so Drake ultimately ended up having to spend nights at Brian Peck's apartment to be closer to work because mom was too lazy to monitor her child and take him back and forth. And as a result of this, that's when the SA began to happen. Mm-hmm.
I heard that he went to court when this guy was being tried, Peck, And when Drake walked in, he saw 50 people sitting on the side of the courtroom supporting Peck.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them pretty famous. Of course, Drake was devastated that happened.
This series discussed child predators.
Yep. So when they finally went to court, when they finally brought the charges and went to court, Brian Peck showed up with the whole Hollyweird, okay? And they wrote letters in honor of him because he had worked on many, many sets. Hey, Michelle GM, yes, please hit that like button. Hey, Cherry Baby, thank you for joining. Let me see what y'all saying so far. Carol says 20 years later and now you think it was disturbing? F out of here. That's right. F out of here.
Peck, character letters praising him for who he was and asking for leniency. And they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree. Mm-hmm. And they still did this.
Yes. And they did get a confession. So when Drake went to the police, he had to recount all the incidences. And just to give you a lead up of what led. So Brian Peck was basically, Hey Bright Eyes, was basically stalking Drake. Now Drake, he outside of acting, he did music, and Brian Peck would show up to all his concerts, no matter how far they were away and things like that. He started stalking him. He would arrange trips to Disneyland, just to force him into situations. Well, Drake eventually got a girlfriend, and he went over to girlfriend's house, and Brian was trying to get Drake to come to Disneyland with him, and he started blowing up his phone, and his girlfriend's mom thought it was weird and like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm just really trying to distance myself and things like that. Well, she immediately thought it was a red flag, and contacted his mom and contacted a therapist, but he continued to ring his phone off the hook. And finally he answered because he even started calling the girlfriend's phone. It's crazy. Hey, the doll. He even started calling the girlfriend's phone, blowing up like a scorned lover, like he was rejected. It was weird. It was Naughty Crew. Y'all already know Hollywood be weirding, but
that's suspicious. That's weird.
And so that ultimately, that incident, his girlfriend's mom, that led up to the charges being filed. And as a result of that, they had to kind of do a sting operation, and they got him on recording admitting to what he was doing to Drake all those years. So it's not a question of did he do it? He admitted it. But yet all of Hollywood showed up to back him up.
That's baffling that adults would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people know this, but Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge? And I said, of course.
What are these crocodile tears? What are these crocodile tears? Yeah, you ain't care. He was a tyrant on the set. He was a tyrant. This Dan Snyder, he was a tyrant on the set, and he was behind all those creepy jokes that they made on those shows with sexual innuendos, exploiting young girls and things like that. And now you got tears? Boy, bye.
And I did. And he ended up going to prison and serving his time. And yeah, and even more disappointing, nobody wanted to do their version of Fear Factor. At the time we were shooting all that, so I was tasked with doing these all Fear Factor. Sure. And we can't put the kids in dangerous situations like the adults are put in. So it was hard to come up with stuff. But we would come up with all these ideas of dares they could do. We would give them to the network, and they would say, tell us the ones that were okay. Right. Those are the ones we shot. Those are the ones that aired. At the time, I had no indication that any kid ever had a problem with them. But when I was watching the show over the past 2 nights, I now know that there were kids who did have problems with the on-air dares. And it breaks my
Oh, now you know. You didn't feel the need to check in when they was on the set. Now you know. Now you realize it's wrong. Because I'm watching a scene right now. Ariana Grande putting 2 apples in a bra on a web, eating her feet. Water pouring all over her. Now you look and see that it's bad.
my heart, and I'm so sorry.
You know what it is what you're getting is an inside look at what's going on in his mind, and he's a creeper. He's a creeper.
I am so sorry to any kid who ever had to do a dare or anything that they didn't want to do or weren't comfortable doing. We went out of our way to make sure they were safe and that everything was done properly. But if a kid was scared and didn't want to do it, kids shouldn't have had to do it.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
Right.
And if I had known at the time, I would have changed it. But even wanted to do their version of I didn't show it.
Wait, if you would have known at the time, you should have known. He got caught up. I think he was getting turned on by a lot of it.
Enough patience. I could be cocky and definitely overambitious, and sometimes just straight up rude and obnoxious. And I am so sorry that I ever was. And
you more than sorry, Chester.
All right. When I watched the show, I could see the hurt in some people's eyes, and it made me feel awful and regretful and sorry. I wish I could go back, especially to those earlier years of my career, and bring the growth and the experience that I have now and just do a better job and never, ever feel like it was okay to be an asshole to anyone ever. Look, I wanted to make funny TV shows for kids, and we definitely did that. But if I could go back, I would get it done in different ways. I didn't show enough patience. I could be cocky and definitely over it.
Whatever. So Drake Bell reveals he was repeatedly SA by Nickelodeon's dialogue coach Brian Peck when he was 15 years old. And so I just broke that all down for you, how the events that led up to that. And kudos to Drake for having the courage to tell his story and to speak up. Seriously. And it took a lot of time for him to build up to this point. But it's the system of grooming in Hollywood that attacked him. They isolated him. You see these patterns over and over again in the music industry, Hollywood, Disney, USA Gymnastics, religion, same patterns of behavior. It's all grooming, brainwashing, isolation. And if you tell, you get retaliation. You don't get work. You don't go as far in your career. They take things away from you. Same thing with Russell Simmons and L.A. Reid and all those same patterns of behavior. Well, Drake slams Ned, who was a star from Nickelodeon, from Hollywood, who decided to make fun of the situation. It's so sick. And this is the problem. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked for this one. So Casey Gell, actor and musician Drake Bell, is speaking out against his former Nickelodeon colleagues from the show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide for making light of SA allegations within the network. Bell had previously shared his own experience of being SA by Nickelodeon dialogue coach Brian Peck during his time on the show, Like All That, and The Amanda Show, which is the show that Amanda Bynes came from. Now, let me give you a little background about Amanda Bynes. Now, Dan Snyder, see, Amanda Bynes was his breakout star. That's where he got his independence. That's where he got all his notoriety and everything. He was too cozied up with Amanda Bynes to the point he got in between her parents. in the management situation so that he can maintain control over her career and groom her. And we see what's going on with Amanda Bynes and what happened to her. All right. Mental breakdown. So during a TikTok live video, Ned Declassified star Devin Werkheiser, Lindsay Shaw, and Danielle Curtis Lee, who now hosts a podcast discussing their time on the show, made jokes about the abuse allegations that have surfaced in the recent docuseries Quiet on the Set. This is just so disheartening.
Daniel, we told you never to speak about that. Get back in your hole, Daniel, and give me your holes. Sorry, we shouldn't joke about this. We really shouldn't.
This is awful. Why are we doing this?
Because this is about us. Listen, our set was not like that. And no, it's fucking awful. The Drake Bell shit is that's crazy to hear. That is fucked, man. And that never came out, which is really wild. Really wild.
That's how he was talking about it.
Boop.
Okay.
Oh, so y'all were in on it. Oh, God.
Damn.
Wow. I'm not talking about this anymore.
No.
Talking about this anymore.
No.
Guys, we can't joke like this. Jesus. Guys, we're sometimes humor helps us move through things,
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
We need Missy on the pod.
Daniel, I told you.
Daniel, we
Exactly, Michelle. How do they think any part of this is where do you find the humor? So Drake posted to Twitter and said, Ned's D-class less. This is wild. Laugh it up, guys. Laugh it up. Give me your holes. Really? Disgusting. And this is the problem with Hollywood. The sick, demented mentality. And this is why so many kids got violated. It was never important to protect the kids. This is the environment. And then he says, no, my set is not like that. Yeah, Carol, where is the humor? So you guys go. I got Quiet on the Set on my Amazon Prime, but it's on all platforms. It's on Hulu. You could just Google it. It's a very good series. And you know what? I can't believe I let my daughters watch this show. My daughter used to watch Zoe 101 all the time. A lot of these shows my kids watched. And now looking at it, it's like, and Ariana Grande, look at the state of how she is. I mean, she's okay with being a homewrecker. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like. Yes, the doll. Power and control rule Hollywood. That's what it comes down to. Yes, exactly. Children have been violated all the way back to Shirley Temple era. It's still happening today. Yes, they are sad. It's a lot, but my face was on the floor. But you know what? The parents were on the set. But Drake's Bell's dad, he was there. He was hands-on until they isolated him out. It's a whole system that they had in place to, have the parents move away. They will make it like the parent was a problem parent if they looked over their child, just so that they could get that kid away from them. It's horrifying. It's disgusting. All right. So speaking of Hollywood and contradictions, I want to get into Dr. Dre and his Hollywood Walk of Fame star or whatever that he just was honored with. All right, I'll take you back to the Grammys when Jay-Z was honored with this prestige Dr. Dre award. And remember, not the crew, I was like, a award named after Dr. Dre. All right. And for those of you who don't know the history, it was a whole Lifetime movie that Michelle did about how Dr. Dre used to beat her behind. Okay. He's got a history of DV. But it just goes to show how Hollywood coddles DV, Pedialyte. Okay. They just look the other way when you at a certain level. And let me tell you, people are speaking up about it, but I don't even understand how the Grammys will even honor with his history. Y'all won't, it's a double standard for me. Y'all won't forgive Chris Brown. Y'all block him every chance you get. But Dr. Dre, same thing Chris Brown did. Got honorary awards, and now you giving him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Exactly. Thumbs up this video, okay? Because that just goes to show the mentality in Hollywood and in the music industry, how they protect these monsters. For the life of me, I'm just like, wow. Do we have any standards anymore? And I'm starting to feel like we don't. I'm starting to feel like we don't. All right, so he was shout out to the Shade Room for this. That's the Dr. Dre honor with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
It's an incredible tribute to my artistry. Growing up in Compton, I never imagined that I would one day be represented here among some of my childhood heroes. You know, we've heard the saying a million times before, focus on your passion and the rest will follow. And that's exactly what it is for me. Pouring my whole soul and self into my passion for hip hop led me on the pathway to an incredible career. And I've been fortunate enough to make a living doing exactly what I love to do. How about that? Isn't that the dream, right? Yeah. And over the course of my career, I've had the privilege of finding and nurturing new talent as well as pushing the boundaries of hip hop, both in content and substance. But I'm most proud of elevating the clarity and sound of how we experience hip hop. Getting that thing right is one of my greatest achievements. So I love the idea of.
All right, so that's him with his kids, his family.
No cussing. What you say?
Snoop Dogg spoke.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Let me see how I'm gonna start.
Good morning, Be More Shorty.
I want to thank me. I want to thank me for taking the call from Warren and Dr. Dre in 91. Even though I hung up on Warren a few times because I thought the nigga was lying. I want to thank me for deep cover and writing myself into the song. I want to thank me for listening to Dre for over the years and letting him be my teacher, mentor, brother, guardian, protector, and most importantly, a good friend. I want to thank me for showing up on time at the Super Bowl. No, for real, because you know, time is everything with us. No, but on a serious note, Dr. Dre, my brother from another mother, a rock in the sands on no cussing. What you say?
All right. Also, 50 Cent and Eminem showed up. But you know what? They show up, and it's the good old boys club. We look the other way. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. They don't care. They just look the other way. But even Big Boy was there. All of Hollywood. Look, all of Hollywood backing my man up. Mm-hmm. Back that DV up. Okay. Do y'all think Dre is a change man? But fans are questioning. Shout out to the neighborhood talk. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talks for spinning the narrative. Okay. Oops, fans question why Dr. Dre is being celebrated for Hollywood, his Walk of Fame star, despite his violent history. The music industry is sick, and I agree, Naughty Crew. I totally agree. It's twisted and sick. All right. So Dr. Dre has been, this person says Dr. Dre has been named as a violent abuser by multiple women. He has stated himself that he was violent, but yeah, let's give the name, let's give this name a star and a Grammy Award after him. The music industry is sick, and I've been saying it. I said it when Jay-Z got the honor, which I'm just like, why? Woo! Why? Because Jay-Z got some sick skeletons in his closet too. He is a serial cheater, and I don't think him and Beyonce are together anymore. I said it. They got enough money to live apart. They got enough properties to live apart. Yes, let me know what y'all think, Naughty Crew. But I agree with Neighborhood Talks this morning. It's the double standards for me. But they hold Chris Brown's feet to the fire, honey. To the fire. Let's see what some of the comments can say. First comment: if y'all can forgive Dr. Dre, y'all can't forgive Chris Brown. Look, everybody's saying it. They'll forgive him, but won't let go of the past for Chris Brown. This person said he beat Michel'le and propelled the blicky at her, beat up the radio host, and is still celebrating. This person said, don't Michael Jackson got one? Didn't he hang his shout out the window? Oh, this person said Chris Brown doesn't eat eggplant. That's why they won't forgive him. They want Chris Brown to bend over for it. There it is, Naughty Crew. And Chris said, hell to the no, hell to the nizzle. You will not get my virgin hoe. In the words of Cat Williams, you got to tell Diddy no. Shorty, Easy E said, don't join me yet, Dre. Oh, the doll says, I think you're talking about Michel'le. I don't think they were ever together. They were a power couple. Oh, you talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z. It was a business arrangement. I believe that's what it was. I believe something happened behind the scenes, and Matthew got into some ish, and he had to offer up his daughter. Let's not act like this don't go on in America, Naughty Crew. Back in the day, men sold off their daughters all the time to pay their debts, and it still goes on today, current day. It didn't go nowhere. That practice is still in place. And Matthew knows was into some ish, sleeping with a bunch of women, dibbly and debt. Hold on. Am I being up? Allegedly, into some substances and things like that. And I think he ran into some problems and had to offer his daughter up to the ugliest man in the industry. I said it. Yes, Michelle, they stay on Chris Brown neck. Be more shorty, Jay-Z plus Beyonce, business couple. That's all it is. You don't see a lot of intimate moments outside of their business, if you think about it. Be more easy. E says Dre is his payday. I think so too. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. I've been doing my homework though. So yeah, that's that on that. Dr. Dre, you will forever be a DV person in my eyes. You just got a lot of money. That's all. You just got a lot of money. But y'all leave it in the comments. Next I want to get into a Method Man. You know I talk about mental health awareness a lot on my channel. I have my own battles with it. I've overcome a lot. You know what I mean? I've learned to manage my stuff because I take care of myself. And Method Man is speaking out about depression, which I'm really proud of him for doing this because it's hard for a lot of men to admit that they're suffering with mental illness and they have mental illness challenges and things like that. So kudos to him for being a grown man about his and paving the way so that other men can have the conversation. But we have to be aware and real about where we are in our mental stability and to be able to talk about it and express it so that you can get the proper help that you need or learn how to manage your symptoms and things like that. It's a big feat. And I just wanted to highlight this. I mean, we talk about a lot of women stuff that go on with women's health, women's mental wellness, and things like that. I wanted to hear from the men too. So here we go. And shout out to Hollywood.
It's hard. I find solace in just being myself and not trying to live up to anybody's expectations, you know. But it does bother me at times. I have episodes. It's like I've been dealing with it for so long. I know what it feels like when it's coming. So there's really no solution you can have. You just have to kind of like deal with it and ride the shit out. I say look for love, not from other people, but within yourself. And that kind of helps. But it's all about taking care of your temple. And if you're taking care of your temple, not only are you doing something, you know, for yourself, but you're also taking the time out to consider your health, taking the time out to consider being there for your people as long as you can possibly be, that kind of thing, you know? So that's what it was for me. And as far as the mental part of it, to cope, you do the physical. To cope with the mental part, you do the physical. It doesn't always work, but hey, I like if someone's out there right now listening and you're going through depression and all that shit, all I could tell you is I hope your today is better than your yesterday and your tomorrow even better. It's hard. I find solid.
I love it. I love his honesty. I love him being transparent and real. And the way he described it, that's exactly how depression works. You feel the symptoms coming on, and it's up to me like to be proactive in that and recognizing what's going on with me so that I can use my tools to offset those symptoms and not let myself slip that deep. And one of the things I have to do is I have to express myself. I don't hold things in. I have to work out. I have to be active and stuff like that. Because the idle mind is the devil's playground. Let me tell you. All right. But I'm just glad he is keeping it real. Because being in the music industry is not easy. You have to deal with a lot of critiquing, a lot of scrutiny, and things like that. I know one of the things that Method Man expresses all the time that he hates like the internet trolling and people exposing people and things like that. So kudos to him for being a grown man about his. All right, because it happens to the best of us. Life is lifing for all of us, and he's been through a lot of challenges, like in his personal life, helping his wife battle cancer and things like that, and Wendy Williams outing it on the world national radio station and things like that. But I think Method Man is a really, really solid dude. Good morning, Bree. All right. Yes, be more shorty. I love it. I would like to see more rappers and artists advocate for mental health. Kudos to Cal. I love it. No, but I just thought, yo, this made Method Man even more attractive to me. I'm sorry. But shout out to him for being that spokesperson. I love it. This person says, so true. Thanks for being honest on major problems in America. The minorities do not want to talk about. Depression is serious, and your story will get others to come forward as well. And I agree. And that's why I talk openly about my challenges. I'm not shy, about going through depression and things like that. Life got too much for me at times. And I had to keep it real with myself. So to Cal, thank you, Method Man, for being honest. All right, next I want to get into Jonathan Majors. It looks like his case is the case that keep on giving, honey. Okay, as you all know, he was recently charged with, I believe, simple assault. And shout out to the Neighborhood Talks for this. Grace Jabari files new lawsuit against Jonathan Majors months after he was convicted of assaulting her. Lawsuit details assault, battery, and defamation. Wow. So according to the suit on September 20th of 2022, after an earlier largely verbal fight, Majors pushed Grace so hard that it bruised her backside, picked up Grace in the air and threw her against the hood of her car, and brought Grace back into their house and held his hands around her neck, saying that he wanted to unalive her and that he was going to unalive her. Majors then started hitting Grace's head against the marble floor while strangling her until she felt she could no longer breathe. That's crazy. So it seems that Jonathan Major can't catch a break. Just last year, he was convicted of assault of his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, which led to Jonathan losing the majority of his acting gigs. Now Grace wants more. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Grace has filed a new lawsuit against the actor, accusing him of assault, battery, defamation. She accuses Jonathan of subjecting her to a pattern of pervasive domestic abuse that began in 2021, extended through 2023, and details several instances of alleged abuse. All right. So speaking of the trial, Grace also found problems with Jonathan maintaining his innocence throughout the whole ordeal. In his Good Morning America interview, he made it seem as though Grace was a woman scorned, not an abuse victim. So now that Majors can no longer physically abuse Grace, he has resorted to very publicly abusing her reputation following his arrest. Majors immediately implemented an expensive media campaign smearing Grace, claiming that he was completely innocent, is probably the victim, and he did not assault her whatsoever, and that this woman was having an emotional crisis for which she was taken to the hospital, the suit read. So it's unclear what resolution Grace is aiming for with the lawsuit. What do you think her goals are here? I say, Megan Good, you need to run, honey. You need to run and run fast. Because let me tell you, this man scares me. And I feel like this.
Do I need to bring the receipts? Do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl?
No. I feel like the receipts are receipting. He has all the characteristics of a Dr. Dre, a DV perpetuator. Yeah. Yeah, but that's my question. Why now? She's saying it's because he's doing a smear campaign. Oh God, yes, Dr. Umar is going to have a field day. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, why more? Why are we doing some more? Why are we? Oh my God. I just feel like, why didn't she bring all of that out during the trial? Yeah, he did do one interview. That's the only one I saw. James said he played a role in Creed real good, Creed 3. He is a great actor. I don't know. Leave it in the comments, not even. Let's get into J-Ho. J-Lo. The fraud that she is. She being exposed everywhere. J-Lo, okay, we recently reported that she had to cancel. Is it her tour or a show? I can't think of which one, but she had to cancel shows. She recently had a documentary come out, and she is exposing everything from her mom being a narcissist to how she's not getting callbacks and no one's calling her in Hollywood. No one's calling her in Hollywood. J-Lo, it looks like you're getting canceled, hon. Maybe it has a lot to do with Ashanti exposing you and the fact that you stole her vocals back in the day. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that your career has been manufactured. But a TikToker user claims she went to high school with J-Lo. And this is not the first TikToker that exposed her. Because I saw another TikToker. She was like, I don't know why Jenny keeps saying she from the block, because she don't give a F about the block. She'll never come back home. All right. So this TikToker is saying that J-Lo fabricated a lot of her story. And if she was still vocal, she'll steal anything. Just like I don't believe that her mom is a narcissist the way she says she is. As much as she carry her mom around, it's weird. Here we go. Shout out to Jasmine Brand.
It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the.
Okay. I truly have left this woman alone for years. I have just been annoyed in silence since high school. And guess what? I'm a Puerto Rican woman from the Bronx who went to the same high school as you, and you're lying. I saw your high school photo. You did not have hair like that. And we also both attended an all-girls Catholic high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood. So you weren't running up and down the block. You know damn well you were sitting next to Megan Farley and Christine Marchetti in class. Why are you lying? Please stop using us to look human. We are sick of you. You don't do shit for us. Keep our names out of your mouth. We're not running up and down the block. Not all of us do that for kicks. You're stupid. Stop using us to look human. Stop using us to look relatable. We don't like you.
Period. All right. 1977 from Preston High School yearbook, The Bronx. This is her school photo. Wow. Well, Jenny from the block, it looks like they not beat for you no more, chill. They are not beat for you. Let me know what y'all think. Naughty crew. I've been over J-Lo. I mean, I haven't really been checking for her at all. So this person says, Kendra G, media. Oh, so basically you have been jealous of how her life turned out compared to yours all your life. Got it. Girl, go somewhere. I mean, you could take this plenty of ways, but I think it's a matter of they like walk in your truth, J-Lo. Walk in your truth. Stop repping us, and you really don't really be checking for us. This person says she need more witnesses because we don't believe her. We seen the receipts in living color. This person says J-Lo is from one of the nicer areas in the Bronx, uptown by Castle Hill. So I think the frustration lies within this fake I'm from the hood persona she puts on. It's disingenuous. That's what I think it stems from too. That's what I think. She trying to act like she from the hood. She ain't from the hood. We knew she wasn't from the hood when she broke up with. Did he do it? Did he not? She got one arrest and she was out of there. She started dating the Klan man after that. And sticking with her own kind. Great T News says the only thing I like from J-Lo is her performance. From Selena, that's it. Her music is trash. Yeah, that's the only thing I check her for. Ooh, Grape T said J-Lo said the N-word in her music. Yeah, I think she's a dancer. She's a good dancer performer. Just her voice is weak. Not the abuela haircut. Not the abuela haircut. Bree said J-Lo doesn't bother her besides the singing stuff. Wait, what are you talking about? What if she did? Wait, what if she is what did what Tommy Mottola said? Like from the hood, and she just followed the path of Tommy Mottola. Interesting point of view. Could be. Okay, Bree said how she get in Living Color if she was prim and proper. Her acting is just alright to me. Her mother made her leave that man. Well, J-Lo, Jenny from the block. Your block said, hang it up. They ain't here for you. The block said they not here for you. That lady always exposing, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so we reported on Nene Leakes and Portia. Nene called herself calling out Portia. Portia. But saying that Portia contacted production and said that Nene was hard to work with. So now, I just had it. Here it is. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talks. Portia is accusing Nene of choosing a side in her divorce from Simon. Okay, now it's coming together. Now Nene said, like, I don't have nothing to do with that. Now Nene said that out her mouth. But Simon and Nene's married man that she's screwing, they friends. They birds of a feather, honey. They believe in concubine. All right. So Portia released a text message. It says, "Hey Portia, I hope you are doing well. I'm shocked to hear that we have issues, and you didn't want to work with me. Wow, just wow. We have double dated a few times, Vegas, Miami, your home, etc. It's sad to hear. We have hung out in Dubai. You were texting me about housewives. This is sad. We are Black women that need to work, not stopping each other from working." So that was Nene texting Portia. So Portia responded. She said, "Yeah, all of that and through all of this, and this is your first text. How? Who and how the F do you not even check on little sis?" So she mad because Nene ain't check on her. Enough said. You chose a side, and I'm good with that. People weird as all right. I've shown loyalty time and time. I've also shown concern and genuine love during all of your hardships, but I never get it back. It's cool though when people move differently. So do I. And so then Nene came back, all caps. You are wrong in every way. You went extremely too far. Nothing you are saying is valid enough to go to a production company and say you do not want to work with Nene because we have issues in the past. She said, I gave you your space. I didn't want to invade your privacy. I didn't want to seem nosy. I wanted to wait until I see you in person. I was excited about working with you. And as far as Nayani and Simon are concerned, they have their own relationship, and I have nothing to do with that. I only speak to. So it looks like Portia is trying to make Nene choose sides. What do y'all think in the comments? I think this is everything Nene said in the first place. 1 minute, guys. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. I think Portia is being a little brat, and she's having these crazy expectations on Nene, and Nene is just moving how she moves. Hey, Bianca. Good morning, nephew. Durag said J-Lo left Diddy after the nightclub powing with Sean. She ain't from the block. She was scared. Exactly. Hey, Juby Boogan. Bianca Williams says these are two women over 40 acting like high school mean girls. This is funny. I think Portia is wrong as hell too. I agree, Bree. Like, what Nene supposed to be a mind reader? I think she was wrong to take it as far as going to production to tarnish Nene's name. That's whack. And Nene had been there for her through the whole Kenya incident. Shall I remind you when Portia was unhinged? Okay, Michelle said, I think Portia just don't want to be attached to Nene all of a sudden because of Bravo. She wrong on this though. This one though. I think so too. Portia. I think you trying to deflect and distract. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the divorce. Why y'all really getting divorced, Portia? Portia. Let us know. I think she was wrong, and I don't think Nene lied. I think Nene came out and told what it was right away, and I'm glad she came out first because those text messages just corroborated Nene's story. And Portia, you dead wrong for trying to stop another woman bag. Like, you whack as hell for that. I know it is cloudy, right, Juby Buggin? It started out sunny though. All right. I want to get into it's some stuff going on in New York City. You know, last week we reported on the subway powering. All right, when the man was unhinged. A little update on that story. The man who actually discharged the weapon and Blicky old boy in the head, he was arrested, but he was not charged. It was basically self-defense. But people are unhinged in the city, and you have to be careful. Like, I ain't trying to be in nobody's space too close. Because you never know what weapons people are carrying or what mental state that people mindsets are in. And I'm gonna segue into my next story by telling you a story. You know, one time we have this main strip called Main Street, right? That's where all like our beauty supply stores are. It's an assortment of stores. You run the Main Street when you gotta pick up a pair of sneakers real quick, or you need some t-shirt made, or you need some hair, or you need because it's a whole, like, that's the only place I go to, the beauty supply store, because there's so many beauty supply stores or whatever, that the rates are competitive or whatever. So I'm on Main Street one day, just to give you a little backdrop. I'm on Main Street one day, and so I'm like, oh, I need a bottle for later. I was going to some type of occasion or whatever, so I just wanted to pick up a bottle to bring. So I go in the liquor store and I'm standing in line, but I'm talking on the phone and I have my AirPods in or whatever. I'm in line, the line long. So this guy come in or whatever, and I'm just standing in line, moving along and stuff like that. And he comes in and cuts me. And I said, excuse me, sir. I was in line. You can't just get him. Oh, I thought you was on the phone. And I was like, no, I was in line. You just like cut in front of me or whatever. Yo, this dude got so mad, right? He was huffing and puffing behind me, but I ain't think nothing of it. Like, can't just cut me. Like, whatever. Get in the back like everybody else or whatever. And so I go and I pay for the wine or whatever. As I'm walking out the store, he takes, because he bought 40s. He takes the 40 bottle and flings it. And as I'm walking out the door, it's a 40 bottle busting behind me. Like, dang, who would have knew, like, me not letting him cut me in line would have led to that. Like, it was crazy. I say that to say, like, you just never know people's mindsets. And when I thought that, I'm like, I could have just let him go ahead of me. But people on Main Street be off the hook. They be real entitled. You know what I'm saying? I done got into some battles over parking spaces and everything because they act unhinged. If you know, you know, you know. So that leads me to my next story. So sad. A Brooklyn girl went into a store and a young dude tried to holler at her. And it's sad. Shout out to Neighborhood Talk. People are nuts. People are using it. Like, that's so you gotta protect yourself. Shout out to Neighborhood Talks for this. Brooklyn twins. Here we go. This is so sad.
For two suspects wanting for stabbing twin sisters inside a deli in Park Slope, one of them dying. 19-year-old Samia Spain was fatally stabbed in the neck and chest. Her sister survived after the attackers stabbed her in the arm. Eyewitnesses say the stabbing happened after the victim turned down one of the suspects' advances.
They're not sober. They get rejected and they just escalated tenfold. Like, we was all having a good night before this. We just had left and we went to the store to get food. We was all getting sandwiches or like beef patties just to eat. We're hungry. We want to go home, and this happens.
Yesterday, family and friends held a small vigil near the scene of that attack.
This is so sad. This is before the incident. This is the man right here.
Oh, let's go.
That's it, yeah.
Here we go. No.
All right, so this apparently is right before the incident, just to give you an idea of what the energy was. But I think Jovi said it best. When people don't have nothing to lose, they don't give a. They'll take your life, their life, and everybody's life around them. But because this young lady rejected his advances, he waited outside of the store and attacked her and her twin sister. This is just so sad.
A 19-year-old girl died from a stab wound to her chest, while her twin sister suffered an arm injury after they refused an unknown man's offer. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. on March 18, 2024, at a Plus Deli on St. Mark's Place and 4th Avenue in New York. Samia Spain and her sister Sonia were out with friends at Natural Plus Deli. While inside, a drunken man attempted to flirt with Samia, who declined to give him her phone number. Instead, she provided her Instagram handle under the condition that she wouldn't follow him back. This refusal angered the man, who became aggressive, leading a bodega worker to remove him from the store and lock the door. The man then left, but returned minutes later banging and kicking the glass door in a futile attempt to re-enter the store. After purchasing their snacks, the store clerk unlocked the door to allow everyone to leave. However, the man rushed back in, initiating an attack. During the altercation, the assailant wielded a knife, prompting the girl's older brother to intervene by punching him, which caused the assailant to fall as the situation escalated into a full-scale brawl. In the midst of the altercation, Sonia suffered a stab wound to her arm, while tragically Samia was fatally stabbed. When the police arrived, they found Samia with wounds to her chest. Both sisters were promptly transported to New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where Sonia remained in a stable condition. However, Samia sadly succumbed to her injuries. A 19-year-old.
This is just so sad that she had to lose her life. I mean, she gave him her social media, like bruised egos. It's just sad that she had to lose her life because of someone's bruised ego, because they couldn't take rejection. Juby Buggin says, whenever I go to the city, I never use my cell phone. I'm hyper aware of my surroundings. Too many people and too many deviants in the city. You got to be on guard. I could never live there. You know, I just think it's a lot of brokenness going on. I think it's a lot of untreated mental health. And I think it's a high drug use going on. And it's causing people to act irrational. Good morning, Curves.
Grand Rising. I just
Grand
woke
Rising.
up and I was like, oh my God, is Naughty on?
Yes.
Isn't that funny? I prayed first though before I called in.
Oh,
And
you're so sweet. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Start to your
so
day
far,
anyway.
so good. You know, God is great when you wake up.
Exactly.
Like that little girl. I'm so sad for her.
Right? So young. All because she rejected. Like, people have a choice to not give you their number. I don't have to talk to you if I don't want to.
It's so crazy. Oh my God. I grew up in Oakland, but then we moved to LA, right? And when I got to LA, we used to go to the sideshow thingies on Crenshaw and all that stuff. And so one time we were at this burger joint and this guy, he wanted to talk to us. And we were like, we don't want to talk to you. We were like 16. And he was like, oh, I got something for you. I got something for you. And he went to his trunk, y'all, and went and pulled out a pow pow. I was like, oh, you ain't got nothing to say to me now? You ain't got nothing to say to me now? And some other dudes finally came over and they were like, calm down, dude. Calm down, dude. So then we hurry up and get in our car and we'd pull away. And then we hear pow, 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 because then the two dudes ended up getting into it.
Oh my God.
Men are crazy. That's the point of the story. That was so weird. But in this case, all the men did was stand around and record those two little girls get assaulted by this man.
Exactly.
It's so, and then didn't her parents, even her dad or somebody was like, why were they just recording? Why didn't anybody help them?
Exactly. And that's the point. Like, they're so busy trying to get it on film, they're not even protecting the victim.
Protect Black women.
They're not even protecting the victim. And that just goes to show the mentality of our young people.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to get involved, but you'll post it.
There's another story where another young girl at a skating ring in Florida. We going down south now, y'all. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Shout out to its on sign. Sensitive content. Grieving mother details. Hold on. Sensitive content. Grieving mother details her 16-year-old daughter last moments before being fatally stabbed while leaving an Orlando skating ring. Just a skating ring. Okay.
No.
Here we go.
She is one of two 16-year-old girls that were stabbed in the parking lot of Amscot off Goldenrod Road in a skating rink.
A 15-year-old male is now in custody for her death. And Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb joins us live from where it happened. Ashlyn, the family has started a GoFundMe to help transport Kennedy's body home.
Yes, the family is raising money so Kennedy's final resting place can be in Georgia, where the family is originally from. They moved to the Orlando area in 2019. I'm told by Kennedy's friends that she and her sister were celebrating spring break at the skating rink next door when this fight broke out in the Amscott parking lot. Now family and friends are remembering the teen as vibrant and loving. Family members of Kennedy Williams are remembering the 16-year-old as a bright spirit who touched the lives of all that knew her, adding her absence leaves a void that can never be filled. Jasmine Stringer recalled her daughter's final moments in a
Tonight, she is one of two 16-year-old girls that were stabbed in the parking lot of
Hold on.
post on Facebook saying she held 16-year-old Kennedy Williams as she was dying, writing, "I will never forget that her last word was mom," as she grabbed her stab wound waiting for me to save her life.
Many of our youth don't know how to deal, how to resolve
Yeah.
conflict in their brain, right? So they lash out in an aggressive / savage manner.
That's Ruben Saldana, part of an Orlando violence prevention group, Credible Messengers, reacting after Orange County Sheriff's Office said 15-year-old Anthony Rushing is their only suspect. Rushing is charged with second-degree murder in the stabbing death. Witnesses say the fight started here in the parking lot of an Amscott shortly after 11 Friday night when dozens of kids were leaving Astro Skating Rink's teen night next door. Kennedy and another 16-year-old were stabbed. The aftermath captured on video, streamed live, and posted to social media.
We're gonna pull out our phone.
Post on Facebook.
Okay, pulling out the
And
phone.
get views instead of intervening, right? How hard would it have been for one of his homeboys or a friend of his to intervene? How hard would that have been?
Right.
Orange County Sheriff's Office has not said what led to this fight, but the agency did say they were not looking for any other suspects. Reporting in Orange County, Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
That's so sad. 16.
Yep, and so this is a statement for her mom. I'll read it briefly. "My baby was unalive last night. I will never be the same. I will never forget that her last words was mom as she grabbed her stab wounds, waiting for me to save her life like she knew I would. Holding her in my arms, my closed hands in my baby's blood as she struggled to take her last few breaths. I will never forget the children that stood over me and my baby while I screamed for help. And all they could do was watch and record my baby dying." This just speaks to the state of mind of our youth, how desensitized they are. And rather than help the victims, they want to record the crime. It's heartbreaking.
It is. And it just hit me though. Maybe some of them do think they're helping. You know how like we're supposed to record police and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they, in a weird way, do think they're helping. That just came to me. Maybe they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the person, I don't know, there's self-preservation going on for sure, where you're like standing in a safe distance, recording, and then you're getting evidence
Mm-hmm.
and that type of thing. But still, at least call 911 first to stop the thing. Call 911 or something. I don't know.
Sorry, help me. Help me save my life.
They're crazy.
I'm sorry, Juby
And
Buggy.
then
I didn't
people
mean
are
to
scared of
make you
blood these
cry, but
days.
it's so much going on in the world. And Naughty Crew, we just need to be safe out here. People are losing their lives over the most senseless things. And people are mentally ill and not taking care of themselves, and they're supplementing by using substances. And
Yeah.
and that causes an imbalance in itself. So be careful out here, Naughty Crew. And that's why I bring these stories to you, to just bring awareness as to what is going on around us. And that's why I don't go too many places that I don't know my surroundings about, because you just never know.
Right? Did you already do the one about the TikTok sisters?
The twins?
No, the TikTok sisters and the acid.
Oh, did I get that story? Hold on.
Yeah, I think it was on the was it in the
I
neighborhood?
don't have the story. I might have to come back for a lunchtime
I'll
rundown.
send it to you. I'll send it to
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy. Because it's not even just people you don't know. This girl's sister did that to her.
I know that it's crazy. And then also you gotta watch out for squatters. Okay. Shout out to
Oh my
Hollywood.
gosh.
Hollywood Unlocked for capturing this. NYC homeowner arrested for changing locks to her $1 million home taken over by squatters.
Oh yeah, that's against the law.
The law. Yeah, you shouldn't be in my house. Yes, you are.
How about that? Water standoff. A property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into her $1 million home in Queens, and our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
Several people were taken away in handcuffs, and one of those arrested may surprise you.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth joins us now with more on what happened. Tell us, Dan.
Well, this is a very big growing problem. I received dozens of tips from viewers about this in just the past week. I went to do what I thought was going to be a routine interview. Instead, we capture what police and property owners are dealing with on a daily basis.
I have video of you.
Who are these people? Out the situation, but they're in my house, man. Relax. No.
To understand how this day ended,
We need the police right away.
with multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning.
Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name?
We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents
I don't know the law. Yeah, there's laws. You shouldn't be trying to steal.
left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he locked it.
But she's been locked out. She claimed squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave.
What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found two men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents. Left her in Flushing, Queens.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs
They got one out.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed, the man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this?
Crazy.
This guy just literally broke down my door, broke through myself and my.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs
They got one out.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my lock.
Okay.
Order to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house. Yes, he did. And so did you. You broke through the front door.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. You need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own this.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do
And
know how it
there's-
works.
There's rules to the as you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
Well, who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Cool. Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease? No. He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So
Order to get in here. This guy.
This is
You're
nuts.
getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested
For what?
For being in
my own home.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed
That's
is
what it was
current
told
and
her.
legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court.
Oh my God.
It's not that simple. It's a long process. Eviction can take close to 2 years to complete.
Isn't it? That is nuts. How did she, the
you're being arrested right
homeowner, end up in
It's the law.
handcuffs for trying to take her own property back, her own possession? It's some other layers going on there.
No, that's really all
it
it
sounds
takes.
to me like he was a contractor. They got into some contracting dispute. She didn't pay him the money. He knows the squatters laws, but there are professional squatters out here, i.e. the Jaguar rights. Do not let people in your house. Do not let people get mail to your house.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yes.
The mail. But this bill, I didn't know that they could use a bill. And then, yeah, so here in California, the same thing happened. Look, I got a lot of stories, y'all. So my auntie's house, she was in the hospital, and drug dealers from the house took over from the street, took over the house, and they turned it into a trap house, and it was in Berkeley. And then she's like, oh, I want to sell my house. And I was like, okay. So I went over there and I did the same thing, y'all. I went over there. I was like, get the fuck out my auntie's house. This is not your house. They had all had mail sent there from their self to their self. And when the cops got there, they gave them mail that with their name on it. I was asked to leave, said it was a eviction thing, go down to the legal aid. I'm like, this, and this. They're like, yep, you're going to have to get everybody's name and evict them. I was like, okay. So I was like, no, I'm not. So I went back to the house, and luckily something happened again with the pow pow, where the police ended up finally arresting the main squatter dude because he brandished a pow pow. So as soon as he left, we go in the house, we change the locks, we get everything out, everything out the house. He didn't have, by the time he got out of jail, there wasn't no paper for him to find that had his mail name on it. We sold the house, and we're trying to call his brother in jail, and it was crazy, y'all. But it took about September, October, November. It wasn't until December before the whole ordeal was over. It was a 4-month thing. It's true.
Oh my
It's
God.
the law. The cops wouldn't do nothing. They knew the man also was a professional squatter, like he was no good. They even were like, oh, Bobby, it's you, when they came to the house. To the professional squatter. Like, they knew his ass, and they didn't care.
And it's people that go around, they're just scavengers, right? And they go around and look for people's weaknesses to find an innuendo where they can get their little foot in the door. Juby Buggins says in NYC, squatters' rights start after 30 days of being in the home. It's crazy. Nephew said in some states you have to evict then like real tenants. No, they have rights.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to pay them relocation fees and everything.
Mm-hmm. Michelle GM says that's crazy.
But it seems like when you're an actual renter, it doesn't take that long to get out.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Couture says, child, that's why a man unalived the squatters in his house after fighting for 2 years. Like, it would have to lose your mind.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the owner have no rights. Yes, it is crazy, right?
Right.
And New Yorkers moving to Florida to change our laws like theirs. I just thought it was crazy. Yes, everyone hit that like button. So these are the stories I wanted to bring to my naughty crew, to bring some type of awareness as to what is going on around us.
Right.
Let me see. Juby Buggins says landlord would have been better off accusing that man of DV and that they were a couple. Cops would have removed him just because of the confusion. LOL. It's crazy when it comes to criminal slums. Cherry baby, when it comes to criminal slums and bums, NYC got their back. Yes. They sure do until they doing a what do they call it? Profiling. But yeah, the world around us, there's a lot going on. Be careful of your surroundings and things like that. I'm gonna be back with a lunchtime rundown, but Curve, since you joined late, some of the topics I went over through Quiet on Nickelodeon.
Wasn't he nasty? He's all, well, I'm sorry for the massages. It was jokes for kids. The kids were laughing.
He wasn't sorry. He knew it. He's a Chester.
Yeah.
And what do you think about Dr. Dre being honored with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star?
Hey, well, when Hollywood is full of demons and devils, I guess the stars are too.
Okay, point blank, period. All right. And then we got into Portia exposing. Well, you did, which I featured on my channel,
Oh,
a
right on.
reel on Instagram. But Portia released the text messages between her and Nene. And I feel like Nene is justified and Portia is all the way wrong still. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was Nene's who released those text messages. Portia's trying to pretend like she's unbothered because she's filming with Shamia in LA.
Hold on, let me see. I could have sworn it said Portia.
If it's the one that said you chose a side, then then that was Nene released those.
Okay, so I was wrong. I stand corrected.
Yes, Nene released those after she released the pictures.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
I'm here for the
I saw the pictures.
Because that was not cute. That's two separate things. You chose a side, so I'm gonna tarnish your name in Hollywood at work.
Yeah, Portia is already on my last nerves, and the show didn't even start yet.
Look, I don't even know if it's. I didn't watch last season, y'all. I don't have to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta ever no more. And I'm not sure Portia even returning is enough to make me watch. At first I was gonna watch to see how her and Simon navigated. And now to find out that might be PR, she did this to Nene. I'm like, what are you doing? It just feels like too much confusion around her. It should have been clear, cut, dry, come back, be fabulous. And now it's all this. Are you divorced? Are you mad? Did you ask? Did he ask? You're stabbing your sister in the back. Whatever. I can't. I have 5 brain cells I'm trying to grow.
I know that's right. But I appreciate you coming up on the panel and
You
joining me. It's
too.
time for me to
I'm gonna go get coffee.
Plantation. But
Yeah.
I'll look for you on these YouTube streets. Everybody, please go over to Larger Curves and subscribe. She has a great channel. She talks about reality TV. Oh, she dropped off. But I appreciate you, Curves. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of you joining me too. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Just food for thought. Let's leave it in the comments, Naughty Crew. Please make sure y'all hit that like button. If you have not already, all these things help us to get into the algorithm. And as you guys move through your day, make sure
ever in life, I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business.
Make sure you stand on business 10 toes down and don't get.
You ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up.
Don't get swallowed up by the evils and the double standards of this world, Naughty Crew. And as all the stories we covered today, as you can see, we live in a very sick and twisted world. All right. So protect your neck at all costs and always have your best interests at the forefront of things. And to all my haters, you got a problem? Pull up. We ain't scared. But I think my haters, though, I really, really do. So to all my haters,
and I wanna say thank you in case I don't thank you enough.
I thank y'all too. I appreciate my subscribers, my moderators, my subscribers to come, because we on the path to 5K, baby. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. One.